What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and it looks like Joe Biden just ordered for door-to-door health surveys out in East Palestine. Now, I'm not here to tell you this is bad, because we want these people to get help. We want action to be taken, but I can't help but feel kind of uneasy about this, and the people of East Palestine, Ohio, feel uneasy about it as well. One person described it as feeling like a zoo animal. They kind of feel like zoo animals out there right now because they have people showing up to their town just to observe them, to observe what's going on there and to look at what may be happening to these people. And with everything that went on there, and all of the weird things surrounding that situation, I understand why people feel uneasy. Plus, it can be kind of intimidating when the president rolls out these orders of health surveys and the CDC, like a whole team of CDC members shows up knocking at your door, wanting to talk to you about what may have happened to you during this tragic, weird, suspicious train derailment. And a lot of people have lost faith in the CDC. A lot of people don't trust them. I understand why. Maybe I'm one of those people as well. But I mean, just in the whole medical industry as a whole, and in pharmaceutical companies and everything, people are losing faith in them. Rightfully so. So after the last couple of years and all of this craziness, knowing that a lot of these same entities, if you will, have lied to us. They've directly lied to us about a lot of the things going on. They've pretended to care about our health while doing things that is basically detrimental to our health directly. So when you have the CDC, after the wild and crazy couple of years we have, show up to your front door wanting to do health surveys, I understand why people are feeling uneasy. Plus, like I said, there's all that other weird stuff going on, like the My Digital ID program, this experimental program that they decided to roll out 1 week before this train derailment. And it just so happens that this program was put in place to monitor people's breathing and their health and their reactions to certain things. And they decided, hey, East Palestine, Ohio, out of all of these places in America, let's roll out this experimental program there. Let's spend countless amounts of money and give people free digital IDs. They were like, hey, everyone in town, show up at the fire department and we're going to hook you up with the free digital ID. And, this was a couple of months after these people had already been recruited to star in a movie about a train derailment. And now they're getting digital IDs. And now they have the CDC showing up at their door wanting to do these little mandatory health surveys door to door. So I want to hop into this article that gives us a better idea of what's going on here. Also, we're going to hear from some of the residents of East Palestine about the weird health issues they're suffering from. But first, here's a quick word from this video sponsor. This video sponsor is the Swagit app. It's basically a US alternative to TikTok. I don't know about you all, but listen, there's a huge problem with TikTok, and I know people love the app. I get it. But everything you do on TikTok, you can do on Swagit. The only thing is, Swagit is just starting out. It's just starting out. It's a relatively new app, but there's earning potential on that app unlike any other app I've ever seen. For one, everyone's been asking me how to support my channel. This is one of the #1 ways you can support my channel right now, and it's totally free. Go to the pinned comment, download the app. It's for US only right now. Download the app, follow me, Cinema Shogun, and that's a free way to support my channel. You'll get access to little video clips that I do over there. Sometimes I break news over there. Sometimes I can talk about things over there that I can't talk about here on YouTube, trust me. But it's a great alternative to TikTok. I really believe in it. I am basically here on the cutting room floor trying to help get this app established. So, I think you all would be doing yourselves a favor and me a favor by downloading the app, especially if you're into like TikTok and stuff like that. It's a great alternative. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this article. Officials are carrying out door-to-door health surveys on residents in East Palestine amid fears of an emerging public health crisis. A team of 19 CDC staff members will be asking residents to complete 30-minute surveys under a direct order from President Biden himself. It comes more than 3 weeks after a chemical train derailment let off an explosion of toxic fumes, which led to a wave of bizarre symptoms among residents near the crash site. The toxic chemicals on board the trains are known to cause long-lasting damage, meaning these symptoms may only be the beginning for residents. The CDC representatives are expected to move into neighboring Pennsylvania as well this week and will also target the first responders at the derailment site. Mr. Lovett, an auto detailer, lives with his fiancée about 15 minutes from where the trains derailed, but he works close to the site, which is why he believes he has been really badly affected by the chemicals. Melissa Blake, however, lives within a mile radius of the crash site. She says she began coughing up gray mucus and struggled to breathe for 2 days after the train derailment. She left her home and went straight to the emergency room, where doctors diagnosed her with acute bronchitis due to chemical fumes. Miss Blake was given a breathing machine, oxygen, and 3 types of steroids. She was discharged from the hospital, but she has yet to return to her home. The symptoms are yet to be officially linked to the derailment, but the toxic chemicals released are known to cause these kind of effects and more. Exposure to the chemicals can cause industrial or chemical bronchitis, inflammation of the airways and the lungs. Symptoms include a cough that can last for weeks, coughing up mucus, chest pains, wheezing, a shortness of breath. Also, a high-pitched voice can possibly occur alongside the wheezing. The mucus is usually yellow-green or yellow-gray in color. Inhaled irritants mixed with the phlegm can cause it to be a charcoal or gray color. Continued exposure to this irritant can lead to permanent lung damage. Howard Young, general manager at Caram Fab, a manufacturing company next to the derailment site, said half of its workforce were too ill to work last week. Workers had symptoms including nosebleeds, rashes, and were diagnosed with chemical bronchitis at the hospital. Several residents in surrounding areas have been documenting their symptoms in Facebook groups and are finding it difficult to get proper medical advice as doctors are left stumped by what tests to even run. Barbara Levy, a marketing coordinator living in Youngstown, Ohio, a 30-minute drive from East Palestine, said she was suffering from what she felt or looked like sunburn on her face, and it was really itchy, but she had not been out in the sun. She has been struggling to get sufficient medical attention and said doctors don't want to deal with it. Yoha Kana Asath Shamashan, man, I probably butchered that name, who lives in Campbell, Ohio, said herself and her 2 daughters have been getting hive-like rashes all over their bodies and getting headaches ever since the train derailment. She said, "We can't leave because we have nowhere to go at the moment. It worries me because I have a 6-month-old. I have not bathed him with the water. I bought gallons of water to bathe in. This is so upsetting." Isla and Tyler Antononiazzi said they were considering moving out of the area after their young daughters began showing symptoms. They live less than a mile from the incident and went back to their house the following day after the evacuation notice had lifted. She said, "My oldest had a rash on her face. The youngest did too, but not as bad. The 2-year-old was holding her eye and complaining that her eye was hurting. She was very lethargic. I did allow my 4-year-old to return to preschool, which is the East Palestine Elementary School. She went back for 2 days and then developed a rash on her hands and started complaining of itching, so I pulled her back out." Now, that is just a few accounts from people in this area. So just imagine that. This is just what we've heard so far. Now, what really sticks out about what we heard just there, to me personally, is that some of these people complaining about these rashes, they live 30 minutes away. 30 minutes away. Meanwhile, they only evacuated people within a 1-mile radius. A 1-mile radius. So that's the people they're so-called kind of worried about. They've been focused on the people who are within a 1-mile radius, which, yeah, those are going to be the people the most deeply impacted, obviously. But while they focus on such a small area, we have people 30 minutes down the road popping up with these unexplained rashes. And let's be honest, we know where they're coming from. These people didn't have these rashes covering their kids before this train derailment. And then after the train derailment, all of a sudden, people are popping up with all of these rashes, with all of these marks on their body. They're having trouble breathing. Their eyes are puffy. And these are people who live 30 minutes away. So imagine being right there in the thick of things. Also, one thing people need to understand about this is human beings, we're all the same in some ways, but we're different in certain ways as well. Some things affect people in ways that they don't affect others. So some people may have sensitive skin, for one. And if you have sensitive skin, then you're going to be way more likely to have, rashes and something bad happen to you during this type of situation. So just because everyone is not affected, just because everyone isn't affected doesn't mean that other people won't. So you may have someone that lives across the street from the derailment that gets by kind of fine by the graces of whoever's out there creating us. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, someone 30 minutes down the road can have a horrible reaction. That's life. That's the beauty of being a human. We're alike in a lot of ways, but we're different in some, and all of us have different reactions to these things. Another thing that sticks out to me here is, we know they ordered this door-to-door health evaluation in East Palestine, which weirds me out. I'm sorry. You can call me what you want. It weirds me out only because of all of the other weird things that are going on. And, I already told you all that the half of me feels like this is some type of weird, sick, and twisted art. Not that I feel this way, but when you look at some of the circumstances and the weird coincidences surrounding this situation, it looks like a sick experiment in a way. The way they rolled out that My ID experimental health program for free a week before this train derailment. And now the CDC is coming in to do tests and surveys on all the citizens. But what sticks out to me is they're also going into Pennsylvania with it. Why is that? I thought everything was safe. I thought the water in East Palestine was safe. I thought the air was safe. Obviously, it's not. We have people getting sick all over the place, but they tell you it's safe. Yet they're sending the CDC into Pennsylvania because they know those people may be affected as well. So hey, this is stretching farther than what people think. When it's all said and done with, there's no telling how many people will actually be affected. And at the time of this recording, a lot of this waste from East Palestine, it's still in limbo. Don't get me wrong. They found some places to put it, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But there's still like thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of toxic waste and it's kind of in limbo, riding in circles around the country right now, trying to figure out where they're going to put it. And, every time a town or city catches on, like, hey, you're coming here with that, they're kind of trying to refuse it. So who knows what will come of that? I'll keep track of that, though. But let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.